Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to another short tutorial. This one is basically, I'm just going to take a QFN off this board. This is it looks quite a difficult procedure this, because there's no legs to the actual component because they go sort of down the side and underneath. But it's actually not too difficult, but you will need a hot air pencil for this, because basically it will have a heat pad generally underneath. So you won't be able to get this off with sort of soldering irons or anything, so you will need a hot air rework station. So what I'll do, I'll quickly show you how I get it off. So what I generally do, I just add a little bit of flux around the body, basically, just to aid the solder sort of melting. Just run a little bit around each side. So I'll get my hot air rework station, set to about 360. I've got the air on about 90. So what I do, basically, I'll just go around the body, sort of giving it in a circular motion, and eventually you'll sort of see all four sides melting. This does take a little bit longer than normal sort of IC because it's got a heat pad, so you've got to sort of make sure that's all melted. But generally the body will float around on the board, and that's the point when you sort of can release it from the board. So we do circular motion around it, and eventually you'll sort of see it sort of melting and it's sort of swirling around slightly on the board, and that's the time when you basically just got to lift it off. So normally I would protect other components around it with foil tape, like I've said in some of the other videos. Because I've got no plastic parts nearby, I can get away with not doing that. It just does take a little bit longer because of the heat pad, but eventually all them legs will be gone and it should lift nicely off. All you've got to do is keep trying it with tweezers. I think it's going to go very soon. I can see the legs are nice and shiny, they're all melting. It's probably just the heat pad, but there you go. So basically just lift it off. And what you can do, if you're quite happy with the solder that's on there, and there's still sort of a nice amount, you can generally leave what's on there and just add the new component. Or you can freshen up what's on there. So if you feel like a couple of pads are slightly lighter solder, just generally just go along slightly, add a little bit more to a couple of them. That one there's a little bit light. Just generally run along, get a nice little bit along the sides. So I think all the others look generally healthy. So what I do, I'll sort of clean that up with a bit of fluid and then show you how I reattach a new one. Right, so we now come to the stage where I'm going to reattach the device back onto the pads. But before I do that, what you got to do, I'm going to show you a secret way. Well, a lot of people don't know this, so it is a bit of a secret way really, but you can prove after the actual heat pad's connected to the component. All you got to do, you sort of find out what pin is connected to the centre pad. So in this, that's pin 1. So basically I can see that pin 5 actually goes via that sort of ring of track and goes into the centre pad. There's also another one over there. So if you make a note of what one goes to the centre, and after I'll show you how you can buzz that out and prove the sort of component is actually joined to the centre pad. It's a great thing to know. So I've done it over the years a lot, and it proves you've got to join underneath. So yeah, what we do, we get straight on with reattaching it, and then I'll sort of clean it all up and I'll show you how to buzz it out. So what I'll do first, I'll get some flux, like I love my flux, so yeah, just flux all the area. This just gives it a bit of an aid in melting the solder. I've got my hot gun at the same temperature, so basically what I'm going to do, I'll just pre-warm the area slightly. You can sort of tack these into position if you want, but I do sometimes, but sometimes I'll do it this way. So I can always go around the joints after with an iron if I'm not too happy with any of them. Yeah, don't get it to the melting stage, so sort of lower it into the sort of rough position. That's going to be about there. And the flux, I've taken my tweezers away, that should generally hold it. So all you got to do then is just sort of heat the area, and eventually you'll see all that go. I can already see it going now. And that will float into its own position. Yeah, you just got to hold it there and just make sure it all goes. say after, you can go around it with an iron if you're not too happy with some joints. But I can see that's pretty good. The centre pad's definitely gone. So what we do, I'll clean all that up, and then I'll sort of show you how to buzz it out. I might just touch a couple of joints up, like one there's a little bit big, I can see. But you can, yeah, just generally go around it with an iron after. And what I do, I'll clean it all up, show you sort of some pictures, and after I'll do a little video on how to buzz this out. Right, so this is the point where I'm just going to show you how I buzz this out to prove it's joined underneath. It's a great thing to learn or to know, and yeah, it's a brilliant method. So what I do, so all you do, you basically remember pin 5 that was joined to the centre pad. So you put your probe on pin 5, and then you got 2 points. There's 2 along every side. Right in the bottom corner there's a little gold pad, and it's on the side of the body. And that is literally, that's always joined to the centre pad, so this will prove it's actually soldered underneath. So what I'm going to do is put one on pin 5, and the other one, just, you can touch any of the 8, there's 2 on each corner, or 2 on each side, sorry, and you should get your continuity buzz. So yeah, just pin 5, it's pretty small, so it will take a little while. You've just got to find it, because it is so small. My probe's probably a bit big to find this, but yeah, you will find it. There you go. And there's your proof that it's actually joined underneath. So you can use any of the 8 sort of pips, 2 on each side, and say that's always the case. It's joined to the centre pad underneath, and so that proves your solder's done. And if there's no track coming out to one of the pads, you go around the back of the board, you can sort of buzz it to one of the wires around the back. So yeah, it's a good thing to know, and yeah, I hope that's helped you. And yeah, if you like this video, yeah, it'd be great if you could just hit the subscribe link on the screen, and I'll keep putting a few more up. So yeah, until the next one, yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you again soon.